I mean, if you want to be a man, deal with a man. Don't pick on a fucking woman. Grow some balls. That's what I got to say. Spreaker side. I don't, you know that for a fact. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me.
I know. That's one thing.
I don't care.
I haven't mastered that yet. I still care about what people think, but not everybody now. I got to evaluate the person and see if I respect them before I'll really care. Like, some people that attack me doesn't bother me at all. Had a couple people attack me a few months ago. It bothered me because I thought I knew them. I kind of liked them, so it stung a little bit. But for the most part, especially when you say consider the source, in my brain, the intelligence part kicked over the emotion part and said, think for a second, Kev. Who the fuck are these people? And that made it a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, and you hit it right in the beginning. Anybody that really, truly is not worried about what other people think of them when they walk around and try to follow and impress other people, they're not going to use a fake name.
No.
They're not going to use an anonymous address. They're not going to use a fucking picture of somebody else. They're going to be themselves and say exactly what's on their mind. And that's all I'm doing. These people out here, they won't say it. I'm saying exactly what the fuck they think. And it pisses a lot of them off. And that's not my fucking problem.
I get it. I agree. I mean, it really depends on who you're trying to talk to, though. Like you said, you don't care what other people think, so you're speaking your mind, but you're thinking that a lot of other people are thinking what you're saying.
Yeah, see, if it were me, and Showbilly's going back to the Kevin's being a wife beater thing and all that stuff, and I would suggest he goes over to Little Ricky's show. In my opinion, this is not my show. Go over to that show and suck off Ricky, and maybe he can get you on there as a second or third host that can maybe clean the shitter out for him. See, Joe, I'm losing respect for you. I mean, honestly, the more you're typing in the chat room and I'm reading in here. Normally, I won't read all the chat room stuff, especially if it's not in my own show. But, you know, the more I'm seeing, the less I am humanly liking you. I mean, you're seriously way out of fucking line with your comments. And I want to apologize for K-Tap for suggesting putting this fucking cuck, unbanning this guy. He should be banned everywhere, in my opinion. He brings nothing to Spreaker. These shows are terrible. They always have been terrible, in my opinion. And he knows that. I've told him that from the get-go. Joe just isn't cut out for being on radio. Or many other things, evidently.
Yeah, that's
maybe Jenny Craig, a male version. He can be the before model or something.
For any of the other people in the chat that are kind of new, if you want to hear my retort to any of the wife beating allegations, I did a show called Truth Trolls. You can look that up. It's got everything on it, including my ex-girlfriend who talks about what a gentle fella I am. So either I changed, which mostly people don't do, or I've never been abusive toward women. That's got to be a hard one for your average person that doesn't know me to decide which area to fall on there. Not hard for me. And I know the fucking software is coming out. It's used by the FBI right now. You're going to be able to run a podcast through it live if you want, or a recorded version. And you can tell through voice frequency changes when someone is likely not telling the truth. And that's why all my shit's staying up on here. All of it's staying up on here. I probably make more money in 2 days, Shillbilly, than you do in 2 months. So I don't want to hear about jobless.
That's a banner he wants to go on to.
Yeah, I don't get that. He doesn't know what I do because I don't tell people what I do.
Joe wants people to click on his name and go listen to his goddamn show playing Rush for 5 or 6 fucking hours. Yeah. And then go to the news guy's chat room until he gets blocked out of there, and then run over to Debbie and beg over there for some forgiveness. Joe failed as a troll. He's failed in life. I mean, real here for him. I mean, real guy. And Joe, he's got no redeeming factors. He'll rehash up this over and over again. And for people out there that don't know this, if I were Kevin and someone need me in the nuts, I would have beat the living shit out of that woman. I would have ghosted that bitch. She wouldn't have had an eyeball left. I would have drug her down to the police station, lit a cigarette, and wait to go to prison.
I used restraint, man. I used restraint.
You have more power than I do.
If you had been a camera on the wall, you would have seen this. It would have been quick in a flurry. You would have seen her run up, knee me in the nuts. But right before that, you would have seen me saying, I got the keys. I'm going for a ride so you can cool down and I can cool down. And remember, she was the pissed off one. I was not mad. I was actually shocked by the sudden anger. And I'd only known this woman for a year and a couple months. So this was new to me. She fucking went the fuck off. And when she drove that knee into my nuts, I almost didn't think at all, but I did have a little bit of time to think. And I said, I've got to shove her off of me. She's going to drive another knee into my nuts if I don't shove her off of me. And I did. I shoved her off.
I wouldn't explain it again to anybody. Fuck them.
It just bothers me that new people might think, oh, wow, he's a wife beater? No, fucking no. I grew up with 4 sisters. If anything, I took my share of abuse. They were all older than me. That's all good, man. My mom used to get, when, she was back in her drinking days, she would love to hit on me. Everybody likes to hit on the big guy. And I would let her. But I would put my regular old block up, your standard block defense with your fist up by your temples. And she would hit my forearms and get mad at me that I dared block her fist. And because she would get a bruise on her forearms when she hit me from hitting my forearms. And I'd be like, Mom, I can't let you just punch me and just be okay with that. I'm going to go to school with black eyes and bloody lips and shit. She didn't swing that hard. It was kind of half-hearted, funny stuff, but not really, I've always been that way, man. Even with guys, 95% of the time, I let them throw the first punch. Once you fucking throw that first punch, your ass belongs to me. But go ahead, take your shot. Somebody like News Guy, give him 5 because
he's not going to hit. He's going to slap.
He's Mr. Burns. I see him as Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. I'm going to punch you. I couldn't lift my hand. Let me try the other one. Fuck. And I'd be like, go ahead, try your knee. See if your knee can make contact. All right, there, you got one in. Now get 4 more, and then I begin the ass whooping on you. But people can tell the difference between real men and fake men, even on podcasts. They can tell. They know.
Yeah. And Joe's one of those guys. Not. I mean, honestly, he knows he's not. Yeah. He just sits there on his fat ass and he sucks his bowl all day, and he knows one day that he's gonna get mommy and daddy's a little bit of property out. So fuck it. Why do anything? I'm 48. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for my 401k plan to kick in. And that's what he amounted to. Kids down the road, hey, man, what's up, dude? Seriously. So when you want to throw stones at this nigga, bring a boulder. That's what I'm saying. And one shout out to him before I leave. Joe, listen to me. I'm going to send you a new, clean, fresh Home Depot 5-gallon bucket so you can take a shit indoors again. Merry Christmas, nigger. Thanks for having me on my show. I'm going to go out and beat up fucking homeless people.
Have fun, guy. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Bye.
You already hear Guy Shea. Sorry about the audio difficulties, but, Guy's one of those guys that has enough talent. He can even overcome audio difficulties. And if you think I'm white knighting him, fine, I am. I respect talent and I respect courage. If I were, here's an example. You want to know what I think about people like Guy Shea? I got a friend that also fits into this category. If I had to start today a militia force, and whether we were fighting the federal government coming down on us or we were going to go ahead and go overseas and whoop some ISIS ass, there are 2 guys I'd pick right off the bat. Guy's one of them, and my friend Colin's the other one. Because these are the guys that I know when the bullets start flying and the shit hits the fan, they will have a steadfast direction toward the goal. Without this little, you see it all the time, these pussy men. You look in the street fights, World Star Hip Hop. Oh, I'll kick your ass, blow, down they go. Or I'll kick your ass, somebody comes at them, they run away. I hate to say it, but some of these men on Spreaker would literally run away when presented with a threat. Some of us aren't like that. Some of us are real men. And we might see this threat, and it may be a grizzly bear. And we may know that we're about to take an ass whooping. Now, if you guys don't know, I was going to Alaska. Long story short. Stopped at a quick museum. I believe it was I may be wrong about this, but I believe it was either in Juneau or Ketchikan. I think it was in Ketchikan, Alaska. Stopped at a little museum. They have these tiny little museums because, 500,000 people in Alaska, not a lot of, even the tourism isn't that great. And there was a pail, there was a steel pail, your average size bucket. And this pail had 4 holes in it, deeply gouged holes along with a rip that then faded back into the metal. And I'm thinking, those aren't gunshots, what are those? A grizzly bear, a brown bear, had smacked the pail. Smacked it, that's all he did. He didn't crush down on it with his teeth, just swiped the fucking thing. And the owner of the pail knew that, brought it in, submitted it to the museum, said this was hanging on my tree. A brown bear smacked it. Now, I didn't know that brown bears walked around smacking pails. Pails don't look very threatening to me, but you don't know what a brown bear's thinking. What they tell you to do in Alaska is to go down in a fetal position and don't move. It depends on the type of bear. But the general, if you get between a mother and her cubs, let me promise you something, friends. If you go to Alaska or anywhere else where you're going to find brown bears, and you get between a mother and her cubs, even accidentally, all you got to do at that point is think, I get to find out what heaven's like, if there is one, or hell, if there is one. Nothing else to worry about. No need to shit yourself or piss yourself. You're going to die. That is more certain than if you saw an 88 mortar coming in when you were in World War II. You're going to die. You have a few seconds left. You have a few seconds. But when she smells you, assuming that, you're not downwind, and you've made it somehow, some mistaken way between this mother and a couple of cubs, you are going to die. And she's not going to leave you until you're dead. You're going to be in pieces. Who the fuck was Grizzly Man? What was his dumbass problem? I'm going to get to know the bears. Now, I understand wanting to do a little research for Mother Nature and for science, but bitch, you got 8. Or, as they would say in proper English, you were eaten. His girlfriend, I believe, was also eaten. Did you not know that was coming? When I hear some of these black comedians like Paul Mooney say, white people, it's so easy to tell what y'all are going to do. White people come up missing all the time. Black people don't really come up missing. They get shot. They're in the morgue. But they don't come up missing. White people are guaranteed to come up missing. Because you're going to go camp out with grizzly bears. You're going to go fucking scuba diving without the scuba gear. You're going to go off on these trails and over these mountains. And you ain't going to have anything with you to survive. Your ass is going missing. And he's got a point. However, I actually respect that adventurous spirit in the average white person. Jimmy Lethal, my kind of man. But I guess real cavemen do stand their ground. Well, it depends if they have to or not. I think so many variables in these situations. When it comes to mano a mano, you can't find a guy that I'm scared of. But when it comes to Mother Nature about to clamp down on me, if I can make a move to get out of the way of a meteorite, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a step to the side. I'm not going to try to punch the fucking meteorite into pieces. But if it's a bear, I don't think... if I got between a mother and her cubs, I would try to go down and act dead. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. If a black bear was charging me, I'd fuck with it. Oh, shit, yes. I'd smack it in the nose, run around this tree, smack, smack, pow, there goes. Oh, he can climb. Oh, great, the bear can climb too. I'll fall. Now he's got to fall. That's when I run my fucking fist down his throat, and we're going to have black bear guts for dinner. Sit down. You're my rug now. Don't talk. Don't talk, black bear. Sit down. I've got your guts on the fire. I'm going to eat them. And this isn't because I think they taste good. It's because I want to show you who the boss is. No, I don't know. I don't think I could beat a black bear either. But if it was my family threatened, you better believe I'd be standing there trying to do everything I could to beat the living fucktard ass dick out of that black bear. Not run for your lives. What are we going to do? This is why I like hockey. This is why Hockey Men is one of my tags in this show. Hockey Men. There are a few pussies in hockey, I'll admit it. I've seen them. Most of them are from Sweden. I don't know why that is. The Canadians... it depends, man. It depends on what part of Canada they're from. The Americans are always ready to fight. I think we're just born that way. But a lot of the Swedish and some of the Russians, oh no, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't do that. What is that? I wonder how they grew up. Did they just take ass whoopings? I'm not taking an ass whooping. No, you got to fight back, folks. Some of you smaller guys, man, you got to learn eventually. You're going to have to learn how to fight back. Man, maybe you need to pack. Go ahead and carry a piece. I don't know. Hey, I love my Swedish friends. I'm just telling you that most of the guys I see in the NHL that are pussies are from Sweden. Sweden has a rape problem. Could be a relation there. Correlation at least. Now, since you guys are all up in here, Philly NHL blood. Well, Philly, as a Washington Capitals fan guy, I have to hate Philly. In fact, I have to hate both teams from Pennsylvania. But they did get the name Broad Street Bullies from the 70s on, and I'd say they earned that. They're not so tough these days, but they're still pretty tough. We got a guy on our team that never loses fights. His name's Tom Wilson. He's about 22 years old right now. He is the premier NHL enforcer, but they've been trying. The NHL, get this, the guy's so dangerous that the NHL Players Safety Commission had to bring him in and sit him down. He didn't even do nothing. Everything he did was legal. They're just trying to talk him out of being such a badass. Oh, that's fucking beautiful, Tom Wilson. You got called in for them to beg you not to kill people. I fucking love you, you son of a bitch. Hate that you're Canadian, but goddamn you, son of a bitch. Yeah. Artie's about to get